2. Thanksgiving week is here.
That's right.
Yeah, we got
this is just prime time for the NFL season.
We got a new setup here on the betting den for this episode. In the location studio.
The location studio.
The location.
What do you mean by that?
We're on location.
We're on location.
Yes. So we're in a different location, obviously.
For Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
special
break,
show.
We got the upgraded system, and we're ready to talk about some games.
So this week, quite the Thursday night slate. That seems to be the ticker from last week.
Yeah.
So that's why we're not going to run the ticker. But Thanksgiving Day, we got the Bills and the Lions, Buffalo playing back-to-back games in Detroit in the span of 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got the Giants and the Cowboys, nice divisional matchup there. And then Thursday night football, excuse me.
Patriots, Vikings.
Yeah, Pats, Vikings. I mean, the Vikings are looking solid, except for they're
Last week was not great.
I think they're fraudulent. I think they got exposed.
They absolutely got exposed. And
their
the Eagles
got exposed, which was kind of the strong point of that team. It felt like they kind of built off their defense, and then obviously they have their weapons on offense, but it was their defense that was kind of the anchor.
I don't know.
I mean, when they give up 40
they looked
points,
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally terrible.
Yeah, and the Eagles didn't look great either.
No, they barely beat the Colts.
Did you see Nick Sirianni chirping the Colts fans saying that was for Frank Reich?
Yeah.
I know.
It's like, oh wow, what a lovely showing from the Eagles out here with a solid 17 points and getting absolutely,
they won by 1 point.
Yeah, and getting absolutely outperformed by the Colts defense.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, and also it's kind of weird. Like, why does he like Frank Reich that much?
Well, it's because he was the OC.
I know, but like, who cares? Like,
so then, why don't they just hire him?
Why was that a revenge game for Sirianni? I didn't really understand that.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The Eagles have no beef with the Colts. Sirianni,
he got a better job.
Yeah,
the Colts helped him out.
Right,
he should like the Colts.
Yeah, definitely.
That shit was for Frank Reich.
Going for Frank.
Yeah, like that seemed
relax,
over the line to me.
I mean,
unnecessary.
Sirianni. I feel like Sirianni is the definition of over the line.
Why do you say that? I actually don't know anything about him.
He does a lot of antics. Coach. He's trying to be like this big Philly guy. I don't know if he's from Philly, but he's always wearing like the gear from the Philly teams, like 76ers. And
yeah, it's like when Brian Kelly went to
LSU.
To LSU.
But that's actually
my family.
My
family.
Yeah, but it actually worked. Like they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Sirianni's good as well. So
maybe
they're definitely missing out on Dallas Goedert. It feels like. I mean, their offense is kind of stagnant in the next couple of weeks, but as of right now, I mean, they're looking rough.
I mean, I think they could have a slump buster game this week. I'm looking at who they're playing.
The slump buster game.
Oh, they're playing the Packers at home on Sunday night. That's a slump buster if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
the slump buster game. We also this week have a special guest here for the pod. We got Saccharuni here.
Hi, everyone.
He's the special disembodied voice.
He's the former Jimmy off camera as of now, but he might come on camera at some point.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what he wants to say. He'll give his takes. We're pretty excited.
Yeah. So this week we've also learned some pretty significant betting trends regarding the Panthers and the Ravens.
Wow. Well, let me check if that's still going on because that was last week.
Okay.
Well, they played last week.
Well, while we're talking about that, we have another significant betting trend in the coin flip with the Jets.
Oh, the coin flip.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That has been accurate for every single game so far. Billy Football alerted me to it. And the Jets are supposed to, I believe,
win the next 5 games.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
And then go to the AFC Championship.
What Billy Football was talking about was he was saying that meant that Zach Wilson obviously had to be good for them to win their next 5 games.
But looks like Mike White's the guy.
But that's what it really means, is that they were going to bench Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Zach White
after some turmoil. I mean, because they lost.
Well, they're not winning their next 5 games.
Why do you say that?
Bears, Vikings, Bills, Lions, Jaguars.
They can absolutely beat them.
They already beat the Bills, and the Vikings
they're not beating the Bills in Buffalo.
That's fair. But you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Mike White, He beat the Bengals last year. You remember that? They
Yeah.
went to the Super Bowl.
Can we talk about what might be the worst football game of the entire year?
Yeah, I actually was supposed to be at this game, and not gonna go.
Colts Steelers.
That's gonna be horrible.
Colts Steelers. The over under should be 24.5. This game is going to be slow. It's going to be really, really brutal.
Actually, I don't know. Like the Steelers looked kind of inspired last week against the Bengals, and the Colts have been playing just like more competent under Jeff Saturday, which is insane to say. But they just like are actually just like not.
Well, Jeff Saturday's a leader in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like it's weird that he solved like the really little things. Like they just like don't commit as many penalties,
Right?
and they just like
I
are more fundamentally sound.
At the end of the game, it felt like they were still giving up a little bit more penalties. They kind of.
But at the beginning of the season, it felt like it was literally like a holding every single play.
I agree, and their offensive line is definitely shored up as well.
Yeah.
Well,
And fun fact, he's.
What was that, Saccharini?
So look who's coaching the offensive line right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Is
Saturday.
it Jeff Saturday?
He's not going to let him
True.
slack. So I mean, and that's great that we have him in there. I will have a little fun fact about the Panthers Ravens
Okay.
bet.
Okay.
They actually played last week.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
So the Panthers won.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Or,
The Ravens
my
won.
bad. Ravens won. So the Ravens beat the Saints the previous week. Who did the Saints play this week? And they won. The Saints
The
won.
Saints won last week against the Rams.
So yeah, that
That stays, and the Panthers
So let me look at
lost.
the Panthers schedule.
And then the Panthers, who did they play the week before?
They played the Falcons, I want to say, and they beat. Oh, okay. So they beat the Bears.
Okay.
So that's broken.
So some questions.
No, wait.
If every team, if they play the Panthers throughout the season until this week, they lose their next game.
Wouldn't it be?
And then the teams that play the Ravens after that.
Right. So
they
what?
win
So
game.
the Falcons and the Bears.
Yeah, the Falcons won last
Falcons
week. So that,
won last
so that
week.
broke up that trend.
Yeah.
That trend's dead.
Wait.
Unfortunately, it's dead.
It's dead. Falcons won
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah, but they lost to the Panthers.
but it doesn't matter whether they won or
Yeah,
lost
it's
to the
just
Panthers.
after
it's just
you play,
playing
yeah.
them.
All right. So
It
the
sucks
Ravens
to
are
like
still
those
alive.
Saturday.
The Ravens are still alive.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
these
the
are some
Falcons.
real critical statistics.
So does that mean the Panthers are going to win this week
I don't think this means
against the
anything.
Broncos?
It doesn't
No,
mean
it-
anything for the Panthers.
It
at
might
all.
mean that the Panthers could win.
Yeah, because they played the
They
Ravens.
played the
last week.
Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
This is very much in
That
play.
is interesting.
What's the
That
line? Let me
is in
check the
play.
line.
Oh, guess what the over under is for that game?
For what game?
For
They're playing the
Panthers
Broncos. 36.
Like
it's
25.
36. It's 36.
36.
That's the lowest of the year.
That's like
I would
not-
honestly take that over.
I would
Believe it or
take
not.
your-
You're
under.
you're silly.
I'm a
There
little
might-
silly.
It might be
You're
like
silly.
6-3
Well, the Broncos have a great defense.
The Broncos just cut Melvin Gordon
for no
Yeah.
reason.
for literally no reason.
I guess
So they
he's
can
been
play
the
full
Panthers
line.
just announced that they're starting Sam Darnold. This game is going
Wow.
to
That could be
be
the worst game of the
high.
year.
This is the first pick of the day. Lock in the under.
Yeah.
Panthers, Broncos, under 36. That is a must fucking.
The more I hear it, the
That's
less I like
you know
it.
what? That's gonna go. We're gonna call that the hammer play for me. Yeah, hammer play. I just really don't think either of these teams are capable of scoring 2 touchdowns.
Not against.
I
so,
really
so the
wouldn't-
Panthers can't do that.
The
Against
Panthers just put up 3 and allowed 10 last week.
and they
against
can't
the
do
Ravens.
they can't do that against the
They were out
against the
13.
Broncos
Oh, yeah,
defense.
they lost.
and the Broncos
13.
are just the Panthers defense isn't that bad.
The
Like
Panthers lost 13-3 last week
against
to the Ravens, who are far superior
I mean-
offense to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking.
I
If
completely agree.
Darnold beats the Broncos this week, they're gonna fire Hackett.
Wow.
He's
No,
done.
no.
If he loses to
No, if-
Darnold,
do they have
I
a
think
first
they
round
like-
pick?
no,
No.
they traded
Seattle
him.
has it, right?
Seattle
Yeah.
has it.
Holy shit.
So
They
Seattle
don't have like
in
anything.
playoff contention.
Seattle's
and they
gonna
have
be
the first round
incredible.
pick.
In the next like few years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but their quarterback's
Carroll knows
Geno
what he's
Smith.
doing.
Who's apparently
Speaking of
good.
Geno Smith, my first pick of the week, Geno Smith over 235 and a half yards.
Against?
He's playing the Raiders.
Raiders.
I
Raiders.
mean,
The Raiders are
Raiders
bad.
I feel like their rush defense is better than their pass defense. Their corners are kind of abysmal.
I don't think the Raiders are as good at defense at all, and the only time they ever win is by their offense. Like they allowed the Broncos to actually score like 20 points last week.
It was 14 or 17? 17.
Went to overtime.
So it was 20. Final score is 23-17. I want to say.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, but Geno
yeah.
Smith, I like him. PFF always likes Geno Smith.
And I
Always
feel
has
like,
him
you know,
really high. Has him at
Did you see that the Cowboys are -10? Sorry for interrupting.
no, I did see that. I
But,
mean,
all right,
it's
let's
fair.
keep talking about Geno Smith and then.
I mean, Geno Smith. I mean, just lock him in. He's a monster.
Yeah, I feel like he's been going.
He's actually
up
been
on
good
that.
this year.
throughout
Yeah,
the year.
and
I feel like he's been going
Geno
up
has
around
like
that.
been much better than everyone expected.
And guess
entire
what?
season.
He's coming off of.
What?
I
The
mean,
bye.
The bye.
The bye.
He's coming off the bye.
We're
He's
big.
fresh.
We're big bye guys.
Coming off the bye is
Sakuragi.
really important because that means you're healthy and you're fresh. You're fresh.
Yeah. The Lions have won 3 straight games for the first time since
mini bye
weeks
is gonna
9
be
through 11
crucial.
in 2017.
That's pretty crazy and really bad.
That
Like,
shout out
really
NFL
bad.
Now for that stat.
The mini bye is going to be crucial for these teams that are playing on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
They can, take a little bit more time this week and just
If they can get a win,
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on. I mean,
Yeah.
even like a moral loss for like the Lions and like the Giants would have them kind of have a little bit more momentum going into the next week.
I don't,
Even if
I don't
it's-
think a moral
unless
loss is going to help the
I
Giants
mean,
at all.
The
They
Giants are +10 in Dallas. I mean, that is a big number. The
I
Giants
mean-
have been pretty good.
I mean, all I'm going to say is that this is a classic situation of what we got with the Cowboys and the Vikings last week. Vikings coming off massive emotional win. Cowboys coming off massive emotional loss. Like same exact situation with the Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah.
Like I actually think this is a massive trap game for the Cowboys and like
Yeah.
a massive opportunity for the Giants
Yeah.
to like actually bounce back. Because if the Giants lose this game, their season's like
A little
They're
bit
In
freaking
shambles.
out.
They're
They're
in
freaking
shambles.
out.
They're in
Yeah.
shambles.
Dable's a great coach, but I mean, you can only rely on your coach
See-
so much when he's only a rookie head coach. You need a little bit more talent.
and he's
around.
not a player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You have
Well, it's like
Saquon
this is
Barkley.
the nitty gritty of the season too. It's like
So one
these are
good
the
teams.
games. These are the games.
You cannot
where-
really afford to lose these games.
where great teams will solidify themselves, and the okay teams will kind of start slipping.
Yeah, and those
Um,
losses later in the season will stack up.
I mean, we're
quick.
seeing that with the Jets and the Giants kind of coming crashing back down to earth last week.
Right. Well, Zach Wilson, I think
He's done.
I think everyone realizes that he's not the guy. He's not the guy.
He's
I
not
don't,
him.
I don't know what he is. He doesn't take any accountability. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
that was brutal.
Did
I
you
mean,
see
that's just
Booger,
stupid.
Did you see
Just
Booger
say it.
McFarland going after him?
What did he say?
He's an entitled kid. He grew up with a silver spoon. He's like he can never take accountability. He's entitled.
Yeah, that's what they say about. No, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah,
BYU,
BYU.
BYU.
Yeah, I mean, silver spoon. I think it's more of like a gold spoon, honestly. I mean, with the money that he had.
Yeah, isn't his uncle like the owner of some airline? I want to say something that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
He's
like
rich.
you like he. I think I'll look up his high school. That neighborhood he grew up in is like one of the nicest communities you can ask for.
Interesting that you know that information also.
Well, I don't know if it's like the nicest, but it's clearly like very nice suburb type area.
Or
Salt
look
Lake
it up. Look it up.
Salt
look
Lake
it up,
City.
Look it up. Look it
Yeah.
up. But getting back to the games this week that I'm interested in, I really am interested in this Lions Bills game.
Really?
Right off the bat, I mean, the Lions have looked good, and I'm
it's
talking.
-9.5, right?
Yeah, like the Lions are going to lose this game, 100%, right? But 9.5 is kind of a lot. Kind of a lot.
Well, especially because the Bills are playing a home game in Detroit.
Oh yeah, second week in a row they're playing in Detroit, so they're ready for the dome.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear that 50,000 Bills fans
What?
were at the game last week?
50?
I'll say okay. So I
How's that
got
even possible?
I have a stat for Zach Wilson backing up that he is a little bit entitled, I guess. His Draper, Utah is where he grew up.
Okay.
And their annual median income between families is 120, around 115K, which is, that's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of money.
Is that
That's high.
that's
That's
high? That's high.
I think like
That's high.
some of the suburbs in Indy, it's like 90,000.
And that's high.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that's high.
Wait, we were talking
Wow.
about that he's entitled. Did you maybe talk about what he said at the post game?
Yeah, that's kind of what we were getting.
That's what we were
after.
hinting at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I mean-
the accountability of just saying no instead of saying, I played like shit.
He put up negative 20 yards in the second half, and he's like, "No, I didn't let my defense down." That is the definition of like letting the city down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
The city, all of New York.
Like he put up like I could go in the game and just spike it, and I would have had a better quarterback rating.
Well, I feel like even if like if he after the game, if he took a little bit more accountability, I feel like he would absolutely still have this job. Next week.
He lost the job 100% because he said that stuff,
Yeah.
not because of how bad he played.
Yeah, like he's saying no in the press
And I don't think
conference.
the benching is permanent. I think it's just like a
Yeah, and
benching in
yeah,
place
it's
kind of
scary.
thing.
Salah came out and said his career is not over, and I think we all know that.
Yeah, I mean Zach Wilson is still the number 2 overall pick of the
He's still
draft. Like
clearly
Yeah, but he
has
should-
talent, but
but
he's not.
he does have talent. He does.
I know, but it's like I hate when people say that about players because like he wouldn't have been the number 2 overall pick if any team other than the Jets took him. Like he would have been like the 15th pick. And then we
Well-
wouldn't be talking about him like this. We'd be talking about him like Mac Jones.
Well,
that
the
people
crazy
on the
thing
bench
is
from
who
Bailey
they
Zappi.
passed up on.
I mean, no
Justin
one,
Fields.
yeah, they
and
probably should have taken
even Trey Lance would be an upgrade. I feel like.
I mean Trey Lance is
He's
hurt, but
hurt.
they definitely should have
Yeah.
taken Fields at this point. Fields is a difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like the Baker thing. Like Baker, everyone's like, well, he's a former first overall pick. Like, yeah, but like no team other than the Browns would have taken him 1-1.
Yeah,
Right.
and we knew that coming. Like
Yeah.
when they announced that pick, it was like
Surprising.
we did not expect that. But
That's why
it's
I'm
the
like,
Browns. They needed a quarterback, and they're choosing this quarterback.
that's why it's like not that surprising.
Wasn't that
but
the
he's
Sam
not,
Darnold draft?
Yeah. That's not that surprising. That
Lamar
he's like
Jackson
kind
as
of
well.
bad now because like he doesn't have the physical attributes that most people would have when they're a first overall pick.
Right.
Or Zach Wilson, like he's little. Like
Yeah.
he's not Patrick Mahomes.
He's like 6'5".
right. And you also Robert Saleh didn't draft Zach Wilson.
no,
did
he doesn't like him.
Right. So it's like Zach Wilson has a very short leash with the Jets because
And they're trying to win.
like we're seeing a lot in the NFL now when a coach and a GM didn't bring that player in, they're not, set on keeping that player in house.
Well, why would they?
Right. So it's
Not
like
their
the
guy.
Giants bailed on Tony. It was a totally different regime that brought Tony in.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we want these picks and just get players that we like.
No, I mean that's
Um,
totally fair.
Right. And so the Jets can do the same thing with Zach Wilson, but I don't know who's going to give up anything for him. Like the Colts.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's worth.
Yeah. I mean, I could seriously see Ursay.
Salah did draft Zach Wilson.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
That's
there's
different. That
yeah,
changes things.
Yeah. It's a little bit longer of a leash.
Yeah.
And
And that's why he said his career is not over here. If we say like kind of like a situation in Chicago, like Nagy didn't draft Trubisky, and there was just the leash was so short.
I thought Nagy did draft Trubisky.
No, he didn't.
Oh wow.
It was John Fox.
Oh god.
Nagy was on
Oh
the
god.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
yeah. When
He's back on the Chiefs
when
now.
that was the double
Is he?
year, right?
Yes, it was the double.
Yeah,
doink year.
Nagy.
Oh,
is back on
we
the
got
Chiefs.
we love to bring up the double doink here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, especially to talk about it with our friend James.
yeah.
Chicago Bears.
Jimmy.
Jimmy loves the double doink. It's one of his
Yeah.
favorite all-time plays.
Yeah, it was awesome. So cool.
So cool.
It was so fun.
Yeah. But okay, locking back in on this Lions Bills game. I really like Amon Ra to score a touchdown today. Or Thursday. Sorry. He hasn't scored since he's come back from injury, but he's getting a bunch
He's
of
getting the
targets.
volume for sure.
And like the offense looks good. And like I just don't think Jamal Williams can keep scoring 2 touchdowns a game.
and I
Like,
feel
it
like
seems unsustainable.
well, he had 3 last game.
I know, like it's insane.
And so I'd say Amon Ra looks good because I feel like on Thanksgiving they kind of get the stars going a little bit more because everybody's watching.
yeah, it's a standalone game.
Yeah.
And I mean he's a
It's
little
not prime
high,
time, but it's standalone.
and you get a little better odds on him. He's plus 125. I think that's pretty nice. Another guy that I'm interested in, maybe DeAndre Swift, plus 175. He's been getting worked
he got in
back
the end
into
zone
the
last
offense. And then for the Bills, I mean, it's got to be Diggs, right? Like he's getting back.
I mean, are we gonna hit it? This is the shootout parlay. Amon Ra and Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, I think Diggs is who I probably like the most on the Bills. Oh wow, a guest appearance from Sacramento.
So
I-
how do you feel about the shootout parlay?
Amon
So it's
Ra,
Diggs and
Stephon
Amon Ra.
Diggs.
So what's the we're betting on them just
To score touchdowns.
Touchdowns, we're not talking about yards. Yeah.
No, just touchdowns.
Well, I think that I recall last week Diggs was actually talking to the head coach about not getting the ball enough.
Oh wow.
Because he had I remember because on my fantasy teams he had 0 catches in the first half, and then right before the first half ended, after that conversation with the head coach, he had a touchdown.
Okay.
That the catch after that. So I think that Diggs is going to be really involved in this game because I actually think that he was kind of upset about his the looks he was getting, his involvement last week.
Yeah.
So I do like Diggs touchdown.
And the Bills definitely started out slow in that game. I
Yeah.
think that kind of contributed to the slow start for Diggs as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was a weird week too, with the snow.
Yeah.
Playing in Detroit.
It felt like the rushing game was being utilized more because they were definitely preparing to play in the snow and 6 feet of snow.
Yeah, and Singletary's
But-
been pretty solid this year.
yeah, he's
so-
actually way better than I thought.
Yeah, I'll give him credit. I didn't think that he was any good, and I was confused why they traded Zach Moss, but he's been good.
Zach
Singletary.
Moss or Singletary.
I was confused why they traded Zach
Yeah.
Moss because I thought
Well,
Singletary.
Zach Moss is also getting increased touches now with the Colts. We saw him getting a few drives last week, so JT could get some rest.
Yeah.
And Deion Jackson was active last week, so I think he kind of, supplanted that role as the backup running back.
And it feels like Deion Jackson is really just the backup receiving back because John Taylor can catch the ball out of the backfield. So, I mean, Deion just gets, those little touches here and there.
Yeah, so Diggs touchdowns definitely, I think will hit. And then when's the last time Amon-Ra scored? Actually,
It's been 4 weeks.
been 4 weeks, so he's due. And the Lions are coming off 3 straight wins, so they're gonna and they know they're playing the Bills.
And
And
they're going to be playing from behind, throwing the
Right.
ball a
and
little
are
bit
they?
more.
They're not out of playoff contention yet, are they? With these
Not
3
quite.
Did
wins?
you
They've
also
been
see
hot,
that
boy.
Lamar got a rushing touchdown?
Yeah, finally.
We should have bet it.
We
The
did
one-
bet it.
Yeah,
It's on.
It
we
was
should have
bet.
bet it.
It was
I did
hit.
bet it.
We should have.
Should we look into the last week's schedule? I mean, last week's same player props and the record.
And how we did.
I mean, yeah, you did pretty well. You were even.
We went
You were
8
over
5.
even. 8 and 5. I thought it said 8. I put 7 and 5 on the graphic.
It doesn't matter. We can just leave this up.
All right.
But no, last week was pretty good for player props. We're not going to talk about the other bets. But
Yeah, I may have gone 1 and 5 in the quote other bets.
Yeah. The player props were a couple games over 500 for the year. Things are looking good. And it's these touchdown parlays that are annoying me, though. Haven't
Yeah.
hit a TD parlay in 2 weeks.
And it's really just one of the guy was his
Last
leg
week,
up. Josh
I had
Palmer.
Josh Palmer. He gets 2 touchdowns, but then I also have Kadarius Toney. Gets hurt immediately. Should have just bet on Kelsey.
Yeah,
That's why I'm going back. That was the Super Gremlin parlay.
Oh.
Kadarius Toney and Josh Palmer.
So I think the Super Gremlin parlay is out.
Well, he's
for now,
retired for now because he's hurt.
but he might be the Super Gremlin.
But yeah,
Bad
shootout
balls.
parlay. Got some nice value on it this week, 272. I am thinking about Swift, though. Swift is interesting to me just because I think they're going to be losing, and he's their receiving back, so I think he'll play a little bit more.
right. They're not going to be on the goal line for Jamal Williams to get all the hype this week that
Yeah.
often.
They were just like running over the Giants,
Right.
which was, I mean, I guess they could do that again. I'd just be kind of surprised. And then, as far as the Giants-Cowboys game, we mentioned it earlier. It does feel like a trap game for the Cowboys.
It does.
Yeah, I mean that line is just
It's
The
crazy.
but I think about
after their big win. I mean, are they going to play up to the same expectations as last week? I mean, that's the big question.
I mean, to start, the Cowboys and Giants are rivals, so I don't think
Mhm.
it's going to be playing down to anyone's level. I think, and it's also a Thanksgiving game, so both teams are going to go all out. Daniel Jones is still a really young quarterback, and he has been pretty good about not making mistakes. But I feel like since you said they're in shambles, and he's trying to make some plays, and he's been throwing a couple interceptions the last few games.
Yeah.
And I just think that the Cowboys defense, who sacked Kirk Cousins 7 times last game, had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery or something, all that. I just think that the Cowboys defense might carry Dak Prescott again.
I mean,
So
I could see that.
I think that the Cowboys.
I still think the Giants are going to throw it all around the yard because they're going to be playing down. It feels like, but I feel like they'll have a late touchdown and still keep it close, cover the spread.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The spread that I don't think it'll be a blowout like the Vikings by any means is necessary.
Yeah,
I mean, the Cowboys' defense is elite.
They're one of the better. I feel like the Patriots defense all those years ago, where they just stand out so much compared to any other team.
And it is so hard to beat a team twice. They already played earlier in the season. The Cowboys won in New York 23-16.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I will say is that last week, Daniel Jones, and the Giants looked bad, but he threw for 350 yards. So I do think that it could, they got a little bit of a taste of what it looks like to play from behind against a pretty good team, even though it's the Lions.
Right.
But
That's a good offense at least.
yeah. So I think he kind of got more used to throwing the ball a lot and seeing what could happen if Saquon isn't having the best game. So I think they'll get Saquon back on track this week. And I actually like Daniel Jones over passing yards this week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 190.5. And like I said last week when they were losing, he threw for 350 yards plus. It just feels this game is probably going to be close, like we've said. But I think the Cowboys will probably be ahead and the Giants will be forced to throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think, it'll I feel like this game might just be a backdoor cover by the Giants. Late touchdown.
It feels like it.
That being said,
and,
though,
keep it close somewhat.
if the Giants are forced to throw, that is a script that they are not going to win this game.
But luckily they have
100%.
Saquon out of the backfield who can make a play and just give them a little bit more momentum than just, have Daniel Jones trying to step back and throw it to the receivers.
Yeah. That's fair. I just think if they get down multiple touchdowns, the game's over. They don't have the receiving core, especially with Wan'Dale Robinson tearing his ACL.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
They don't have the weapons on the outside to be in a passing
No,
game.
not at all.
They
That's
need to
fair.
control the ball. They need to control the clock, and that's their script for winning the game. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they get the ball first and just 8-minute drive to start the game, and if they end in
That's
3,
what they
they
wanna
end
do.
in 3. They don't care. They just want to kill clock because
They're
you just
going
got
to
to
kill
limit.
clock, run the play action.
You just got to
and,
limit the possessions the Cowboys can have,
Yeah,
and that's
because
how you stay in the game.
yeah, absolutely. Because they can always mess up a couple of possessions, but we saw last week when they get a lot of chances, they're ready to go off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to sprinkle a little player prop this week.
Okay.
I'm going to throw Paris Campbell
Interesting.
to score a touchdown. He has 3 touchdowns in the last 6 weeks.
Okay.
All of them have come with Matt Ryan playing quarterback.
Okay.
So 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games
All right.
of Matt Ryan quarterbacking the offense. He is kind of becoming the Colts Debo. He's catching their screens. They give him the handoffs out of the backfield.
He's versatile.
And so we saw that at Ohio State with him, and he's kind of
Finally
right.
back.
He's finally becoming that guy in Indianapolis. So for Paris Campbell to score a touchdown, I don't think the line is out yet because it's a Monday Night Football game.
So I think it'll probably be 200, maybe 250.
Right.
even.
It'll be in the plus odds section.
Mhm.
So we'll tweet that pick out with the odds once the line comes out, but locking in Paris Campbell
I like Paris Campbell
to score a touchdown.
Absolutely. I mean, in other games that are interesting to me, the Vikings Patriots is interesting to me. It feels like the Vikings should bounce back here, and the Patriots got super lucky winning last week. But the Vikings are frauds, right?
I mean,
They lost 40-3.
yeah, but we've seen teams like this that have made the playoffs have games like this and still kind of bounce back and make a little bit of a run. I don't think they'll be Super Bowl contenders. People probably thought that before this week because they were playing so well. They beat the Bills. I think that's out of the window after a loss like this, but they can still contend and they'll still make the playoffs.
I mean, they'll definitely still make the playoffs, I think, at 8-2, especially because the rest of that division is just not going to catch them.
No, not at all.
But they did not look good.
No.
That was alarming to me.
They got exposed for sure. And that's a great Cowboys defense, but I think they're going to bounce back for sure. I mean, Patriots also have a good rush defense.
Yeah, I do
It'll
think
be a good game.
the Patriots defense is very good, but like you said, I am confident the Vikings offense will bounce back and score more than 3 points. I think they kind of gave up there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Jefferson to get back in the end zone. I think, they're going to focus on getting the ball into their playmakers' hands in this game.
Yeah.
Just because, Zach Wilson just looked horrible. The Patriots defense played well, but Zach Wilson made them look amazing. I really do think, the Vikings are going to make an effort to get the ball to Dalvin, to get the ball to Justin Jefferson, and,
Hawkinson.
and Hawkinson, too.
He's so forgotten about. They traded for him at the deadline, and it's everyone talked about it for a week, and now it's no one's talking about Hawkinson anymore.
He's helping them though.
He is
Like, if you
helping.
look at his stats, he was really good in the game against the Bills,
Really?
which they won. And I also think that's like we were talking about how like you were asking if they're frauds. I think like the Vikings. I think every once in a while a team needs a beatdown like that. Like they've just come off like and beating the best, like quote unquote the best team in the league, the Bills. They thought they were like all that, and there was all those jokes about like Kirk dancing, and they just got like their asses beat by the Cowboys. And now I think that they're going to be like, all right, we still have work to do. We're still like just like a football team. Like Kirk Cousins is nothing like super special, but like I think that was like actually a good thing for the Vikings, and I think that like it was more of a reality check. They probably came into this game being like, we just beat the Bills. Like this will be fine. We'll be fine.
Walk, yeah.
Right. Like not right. Because the Cowboys are not a bad team, but like they're like
We just beat the
if we can beat
Bills.
the Bills, we beat anyone. That's not a good mindset to have in the NFL.
A loss fixes that mindset for sure. A loss like that absolutely
Right,
fixes
and it's
that.
also
Not really
hard
is
for
the
the
second
coaching.
time.
It's also hard for the coaching staff, like when you beat a team like the Bills, to go into practice and be like, "All right,
Let's work
yeah,
hard.
we just beat the Bills, but you messed up this pull on a block.
Yeah.
It's hard to like fix the little things when
you just
you just beat the quote
you're on the
best team.
highest highs.
Right. So now I think they're back down to earth, and the Vikings will be back.
It could be kind of like how when they got smoked by the Eagles on in prime time at the start of the year, and
Yeah.
they rattled off a bunch of wins in a row.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar vibe, but a loss like that definitely stings a little harder.
Yeah. I mean, so as far as the Sunday slate, we've talked about the atrocious Broncos-Panthers game. Ravens, Jags, that doesn't interest me too much, honestly.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah, that game's probably going to be really boring.
It's gonna be like one of those games on Red Zone that we see once or twice when they
Yeah.
score a touchdown.
It's either going to be that or they score a bunch of touchdowns. And
Yeah.
Well, it's like if I could also see it being like we're all watching Red Zone, and it's like, why are we watching so much Ravens Jaguars?
yeah, exactly, because they're just scoring so much, doing
Right, and
so
it's
many
like
random things.
There are going to be a bunch of like good teams playing that we don't see because the Ravens and the fucking Jaguars are always in the red zone. Like, you've got to be kidding
Yeah,
me.
it's like
There's
come
not
That
really,
happened with the Panthers and the Falcons a few weeks ago.
yeah, the
yeah,
1 o'clock games
because
are
that's
not
what's
good,
like
though.
they were like, oh, the winner gets the division lead, and it's like
For now.
you do realize the Buccaneers are in the division,
Right. It was like it's week 6 or 7. The Bucks are going to win this division anyway. The game is totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Falcons are still contending, but
No,
Panthers are out of it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the games at 1 o'clock are pretty bad. Like the Falcons at the Commanders, gross. Buccaneers at
Panthers
Browns,
is
gross. Bengals at Titans, that's a good game. Houston at Miami, gross. Bears at Jets, gross.
I mean,
A lot of
like,
gross
what-
games.
A lot of really
Three over
close
unders
games.
under 40.
Yeah, but all of those games do have like the favorite is favored by 4.5 or less, except for the Dolphins, who are favored by 13.5 against the Texans. So a lot of gross but potentially close games.
gross
Yeah.
but close. That's what I
Gross,
like.
but close.
I mean, that counts for something.
Absolutely.
It
I enjoy
definitely-
some close football.
Yeah, I mean, so we've mentioned the Jets and the Bears with the Mike White situation. It looks like Fields is going to be okay, even though he got banged up and he's going to play.
He was limited in practice today, so he's on the way up.
Yeah, but the Bears, it feels like they're almost like trying to lose these games on purpose, but then you remember that they're not, and it's like, uh-oh.
I mean, I don't. As a Bears fan, I'm happy we're losing these games.
But don't
getting
you
better
want them to
draft
like
pick.
learn how to win like once or twice? Like they're just literally losing a bunch of close
Yeah,
games in a
but
row.
if you look at the roster, it's just like
you also saw that happen with like Herbert and the Chargers, and it kind of
saw that with happen with saw that
they're
happen with
still bad.
right, but it like makes them a tougher team. Like they're more gritty. The games are closer. Like they're not.
I know, but like you just pick any other example. Like
Josh
I think
Allen.
the Chargers.
Yeah,
are
Josh
fine.
Allen.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they
I don't
lost
like the
his rookie year a
Chargers.
bunch. He kind of sucked.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then he kind of bounced back. I mean, that he lost. So Justin Fields sucked his rookie year. I mean, the Bills made the playoffs, but they were still one piece away, and then they got Diggs and
Yeah.
superstar Josh Allen.
So I want to throw out my first pick, my
Oh,
first career pick.
Wow.
Zaccaroni.
So while we're talking about the Bears and the Jets, I have a few reasons for this pick, and I'll get to it in a second. So the Jets just came off of a horrible, horrible game offensively. Like we said, negative
Yeah.
yards in the second half. They're going to be practicing on their offensive end,
Yes.
right? Not saying they're not going to practice defense, but they're going to want to be like forcing their offense. Like we need to bounce back here. The Bears are the second highest rushing offense in the NFL. They have like 25 less attempts in the first, which is the 49ers, only like 100 less yards.
Okay.
So
I would say with Khalil Herbert on IR, and like you said, with Justin Fields being banged up, he might not run the ball as much himself, which he still probably will, but not like for 150, 200 yards like he's been doing.
Sure.
I think that, again, with Khalil Herbert on the IR, David Montgomery, anytime touchdown would not be that bad.
That's interesting.
I think
It's a
that
nice play.
What are the odds on that?
They're not out yet.
Okay.
Right, they're not out. But I think that, like I said, like with the Jets focusing off, I think what I would do, like with the Jets focusing on their offense with Khalil Herbert on IR, with Justin Fields, like not going to be, in my just guesstimating that like he's not going to be trying to run for 200 yards with him being hurt. I think that Dave Montgomery is going to be that option, and that, like I said, their rushing offense has been like crazy
Really
good this
good.
year.
No, that is very valid.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
So
like
Dave
that
Montgomery
pick for sure.
anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah,
explanation.
Saccaroni
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
with the first pick.
That was incredibly
with the
logical.
first pick, the Saccaroni select.
Well thought out.
Yeah.
David Montgomery anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And moving from that game to a similar vibe in this Dolphins-Texans game.
Mm.
The Dolphins coming off the bye, probably the best passing offense in the league. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Up there, at least like, top 3, top 5. Playing the Texans,
five,
the
top
sorry Texans.
Holy
Terrible
shit.
defense. Terrible rush defense as well. I mean, everybody's been gashing them.
Yeah, so it's time to hammer Tua over passing yards, Tyreek over receiving yards, Waddle over receiving yards.
Oh yeah.
It's easy. I mean,
The trifecta.
It's easy.
Tua.
It's,
Yes.
I think
Tua
maybe
not rise up.
even Mostert anytime touchdown.
I think Wilson's more of the guy now.
Wilson.
Jeff Wilson
Yeah, I think that's
Jr..
fair.
Jeff Wilson Jr. is a stud.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's how this gets all blown up, is if they just run the ball all over them. But hopefully they don't do that.
Right.
And instead, they throw it all over them.
Yeah.
I think they will. I think they're gonna do whatever they want.
Yeah, through the air, through the ground, through the sea, underground. They could do literally
McDaniel
whatever they
knows what
want.
he's gonna do, and
Yeah.
he's got a game plan for sure.
Yeah. All right.
So now I've got a nice little Hungry Dogs parlay.
Okay.
Just a little, We're going Panthers money line against the Broncos. We're going Falcons money line against the Commanders, and the Titans money line against the Bengals. The Titans got eliminated by the Bengals last year in the postseason on the Shooter McPherson game-winning kick. The Bengals tweeted out
Mhm.
Titans week
Wow.
and a video of that kick.
That's balls.
If you don't think Vrabel is going to throw that on the video board heading into the locker room before the game, you're tripping.
fucks posted.
In terms of the Falcons Commanders, Combi's coming off 2 wins against the Eagles and the Texans. Texans are horrendous. Falcons won last week, and I like them to stay hot this week.
Well,
And then in the Broncos and the Panthers just lost 13-3, like we said, to the Ravens. And the Broncos are undeniably worse than the Ravens.
Mhm.
So I think the Panthers could ultimately pull that one out in like a 13-10.
so what do you think about the decision to start Darnold? And we're now on to our third starting quarterback. But Baker had 2 turns to start. So
Yes.
technically the 4th.
Yeah, I guess
it's week 12.
I guess
it's week 12.
Yeah, so I guess it's a nice 3-week rotational quarterback system.
So what the old saying, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one.
Yeah.
Right.
So
What happens if you have 4?
What happens when you have 3?
Well, they have 4.
Who's the
What?
4th?
It was Baker 1.
Yes.
No,
and
they
Baker
played
2.
somebody else. There was somebody else played.
I
PJ
don't-
Walker.
No,
Yeah.
not
PJ
other than
Walker,
PJ
somebody
Walker.
Another
else.
guy.
There's
He
someone
played
else.
for the Colts. Oh
I think PJ Walker played for the Colts.
no,
Yeah, he
he
did.
also played. He's a white guy from Washington.
Oh, Jacob Eason.
Jacob Eason.
Okay.
So it's a 4-man rotation, a white guy from Washington.
Wow.
Yeah, white guy from
So
Washington.
I think that
Few and
means,
far
does that mean
between.
that they have 2 quarterbacks?
They have 4.
No, but if you have 4, do you have 2?
If you have 4, you have.
Or if you have 4,
negative
do you
1.
not have 2?
No,
I think if you have 4, you have
if you have
0.
4, you
You
don't
have
have
negative
2.
2?
Yeah.
Negative 2.
Yeah.
I think it would be negative 2.
Okay.
Right.
Because
And-
clearly it's not working out.
Yeah, that's not good.
So the Hungry Dogs do, in fact, run faster. Last week, big news, easy money lay, cashed
Again.
again. Posted it on the TikTok, which is now a thing we have.
Check it out. Bennington Podcast.
Yeah, check out the TikTok Beddington Pod on TikTok. It is quite relatable content.
Very relatable content.
Unlike my sister says. Maddie, now that you're here, I think we could do our,
Yeah, do you
our
want me to,
football
do you want me to
team
name off some
segment.
cities?
Yeah.
I'll name
So
off
my
10 cities.
sister is here. She does not know that much about football. So we're gonna roll through cities that have NFL teams, and she's gonna guess the team name for that city.
All right.
All right, Jimmy's got all the teams up.
So here we go. Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Nice.
Chiefs with one for one.
1 for 1.
Las Vegas.
Nevada.
Oh,
Nope,
Okay.
that's where it
That
is.
is
that's
What's
a
the
state.
team name?
That's a state.
Pass.
Pass.
Pass. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. Jacksonville.
Dolphins.
No.
Not a
Close.
bad guess.
I was
That
close.
was close.
I was really close, actually.
That's another 4.
Here, I'll pull up the logos
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I need
let's get the
that.
logo.
So that might make it easier.
Yeah.
I feel like that would.
Let's
help.
get the easy ones out of the way. Indianapolis,
Colts.
Okay.
Pittsburgh,
Steelers.
New York,
Giants.
New York.
Jets.
Cool.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
That's not an easy
That's
one.
a tough one.
49ers.
There
Nice.
we go.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
What about
So-
Detroit?
Jacksonville.
Lions.
Nice.
Jacksonville.
Jaguars.
Nice. New Orleans.
Oh
Oh,
God.
that's a hard one.
No shot.
What
Just
do
take
you
a guess.
What do you even think that is? I don't even know what I think.
Trojans.
That not terrible.
Yeah.
Not the Trojans. Any
Yeah.
other guesses?
It's like religious, honestly.
Yeah.
God.
Saints.
Saints.
The New Orleans God.
Los Angeles.
49ers.
No.
Wow.
You already said one.
Cowboy. No.
This is the Los Angeles one.
That's the logo.
Lightning.
No.
That was a good guess.
Close.
Pumas.
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 We said Lightning was close. How do you go to Pumas?
Stars.
No,
I-
it's
like,
the Chargers.
These names are just weird.
They are.
Now that you think about
Okay.
it, like, these logos.
This is Chicago.
Bears.
Nice.
Miami.
Dolphins.
Nice.
Colts. Dallas Cowboys.
Oh wow.
Steelers.
No, you know the
New
Steelers.
England.
The logo
The
says
the-
new
What's the
Can we
city?
show? It's New England.
Oh no.
Packers.
no.
No.
This is the logo. I'll start showing the logos.
Also, like that's just a hard logo.
Yeah.
New
It's a man.
England.
It's
It's
like
just
a
a
human,
dude.
if
New
that helps.
England. Tom Brady.
They love America.
The one that deflated the footballs.
Yes,
Oh,
the one
yes,
that deflated the
one that
footballs.
deflated the footballs. Exactly.
I just don't know.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
I knew that. Oh my god, I knew we had this one. It was the Texans. No, it's not.
Not the Texans. That is a different team.
That's close though. There is a T in it.
Tennessee Trojans.
Oh,
No, there's
Nope.
no NFL team called the Trojans.
Yeah.
So just strike that from the record.
But they should have one called the Trojans.
Yeah.
It's a
Tennessee
great one.
Lightning Strikes.
Lightning
would
Strikes.
be-
That would be quite
That
the
would be a
name.
really
The
good name.
Tennessee Lightning Strikes.
Yeah.
This is the Tennessee Titans.
Titans.
But that logo makes.
What's
no
this
sense.
one?
Steelers. I
Yeah,
know
it says
Yeah.
Steelers.
that. The Bulls.
The Buffalo.
No, that's close. Change one letter.
The Buffs.
Oh,
That's
no.
two letters.
The Bulls. The
Oh. Change the U.
Balls.
Oh,
No, a different
not the
vowel.
Bulls.
Bells.
Yes, it's the
The
Bills.
Buffalo
The
Bills.
bells.
What's this one?
Raiders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
says
says it. It
Raiders. It
says
should
it
not
on
have
the-
taken you that
Yeah.
long.
Oh, that's my
This is
team.
a hard one.
Indians.
No,
No, there are
you
no-
can't say
yeah,
that. You
that's-
can't
That's
say
That's
that.
redacted,
canceled.
redacted.
They got
Yeah.
canceled.
They have a new team name. You'll
Yeah.
literally never
Chargers.
guess it.
No, you got the Chargers already.
You got the first letter.
you know all
Chiefs.
Nope.
the no.
You already got the Chiefs.
Saints.
Nope.
No, we you're saying
Starts
all the
with
teams
C.
we've done
You
already.
said it was my team.
Chargers.
No. Washington.
Chiefs.
Oh.
No. That would be a good name though.
Natty.
Saints.
Oh.
The
commies.
Commanders.
Yes. That's a weird name.
Eagles.
So weird.
No.
Different bird. Different bird.
Red
Cardinals.
bird.
Yes.
Redbird.
The
What's-
NFL.
Nice.
The Lions.
Yeah.
Tigers and Bears. Jets. LA Horns.
Nope.
Basically,
What has a
What
curled
has a
horn?
horn?
Chargers.
A cor-
No.
a
the
curled-
Chargers don't have horns.
Like what kind of like has
Buffaloes.
a curled horn? There's only one animal. Like
There's only one.
Yeah.
Buffaloes.
No.
The Rams.
The Deers.
The
No, they're
I
the
just
Rams.
said it's
They're
the
the
Rams.
Oh, the Rams.
Yeah. Tampa Bay.
Packers.
Nope.
No,
This one's
you
a
know
tough
the
one.
Packers logo.
This one's a tough one.
Tampa Bay Chiefs.
think like pirate.
Tampa Bay.
Arr.
I was gonna say that.
It's the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
I would never have ever gotten that. Vikings.
Yes.
You know the Giants.
Oh, Eagles.
Yes.
And then
Kansas,
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
Nice.
Yay.
We finally got to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now, please don't guess them again.
Okay.
Finally.
Oh,
Baltimore.
sorry.
Baltimore Sea Pelicans.
Baltimore Commies.
Baltimore. It's not the Sea Pelicans. Seahawks.
It's clearly a bird.
Seahawks.
No,
No.
It's a blackbird.
that's a different city. That's Seattle. This is Baltimore.
Give me the first letter.
R.
Rangers.
Rangers.
It's a bird.
It's a bird.
It's a bird.
Rangers.
That would be a great name.
Rangers.
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 Ba, 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 ba.
Oakland Rangers. I like
That would be actually be such
That's
a great
pretty
name.
tough.
Los
The
Baltimore
Oakland Rangers. Baltimore Ravens.
Royals.
No,
It's a bird.
Ravens.
Ravens, obviously.
San Francisco. 49ers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bulls.
No.
Houston.
Texas.
Close.
Basically,
Change one letter.
add a
one
letter.
letter.
Houston City Texans.
That's
Yes.
a word.
Texas. Yeah,
She did say Texans. She said
It's in
Texans.
Texans.
But
Yeah.
Houston City does not
Houston
exist.
City's not a thing.
Green Bay Packers.
Nice.
Jaguars.
No.
No.
Flash it.
Pumas.
No.
Very close though.
Close. Starts with a
Carolina.
P.
Carolina Panthers.
Nice.
That's just a helmet. Like
Yeah, but
That's
what
just
team
a
is
helmet.
it?
We don't-
Cleveland.
We don't even need to say it.
The
Do
Cleveland.
we really even need to say it?
Packers.
Oh, I'll give
Maddie,
it.
you-
It's
I
a
think we
color.
should just skip
It's
that.
a color.
I know what you can get.
But it's not this color.
It's not this color.
We should just
Royal.
skip them.
No, I should. I mean, just go through the colors. You got
Yeah.
it.
blue,
No.
yellow,
It's also
No.
plural.
It starts with a B.
No. Starts with a B.
It's also plural.
black.
No.
What other color starts with a B?
That's not black or blue.
Beige.
No, this is great.
Brown.
Browns.
Why is their helmet?
I don't know. It
Orange,
makes
no one
sense.
knows.
No sense.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Zachary is looking it up.
Atlanta.
City. Chiefs.
The City Chiefs. No.
Even though the Chiefs have already been decided.
Yeah.
Atlanta. I was just in Atlanta.
They're
Starts
they're,
with an F.
they're dirty birds.
Falcons.
There we go.
Cincinnati.
Cougars.
Close.
It's a bear.
There are no Cougars in the NFL except for Zach
Zach
Wilson.
Wilson's mom.
You guys hear what RG3 said?
What?
He said, should I just play the clip?
Yeah, Maddie, while you're guessing this one.
Eagles.
No, you
No.
still haven't got
No,
this one.
oh.
You already said the Eagles 18 times.
Browns.
Starts
No.
with a B. And
Bears.
it's an animal. That's a cat.
Balenciaga.
All right, I'm going to play this RG3.
Bengals.
I'm going to play this RG3 clip.
And then it's Eagles.
You
No.
sweat? Oh, I'm swat. You know that. Let's go. Jets versus Patriots. Less than 30 seconds left in the game, and we put it right down the middle. Marcus Jones, he's only the best in the NFL. Yo, Marcus Jones had 9 return touchdowns when he was at the University of Houston, and they're the Cougars. Maybe the Jets should have put Zach Wilson on the puppet team because you know he would have caught that guy. Too soon. Way too soon. Way too soon.
That's
great.
hilarious.
So this is the next one.
Seattle.
Hawks.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Basically.
The
That-
Seahawks.
that
The
works.
Seahawks.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Okay.
You better get this. This is an easy logo.
Oh, no, it's not.
Denver.
We all know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I know.
Ponies.
That's pretty close.
That was not what I thought you were going to say.
What,
Yeah.
what did
I
you
was going
say?
to say horses, not ponies.
I mean, it's just not exactly easy.
Yeah, I guess it
Starts
isn't
with a
easy.
B.
Braves.
No.
That's a baseball
Think of like a
team.
car.
She doesn't know what
That's
the.
think of the horses, but
It's like think of OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it.
Right. Bengals.
No.
That's a cat.
You're guessing all the teams we've already said.
Broncos.
Yes.
Nice.
I got it
Nice.
messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
she did it.
So that went well.
Yeah.
Good job, Maddie.
Thank
Great
you.
work.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, you actually did well.
Yeah. About 50%, I'd say.
Yeah.
Less.
Ready for the Ivy League.
There were like
33.
there were like 30 different Bengals and Bears
Yeah.
and Packers.
But there's a lot of
A lot of
animals.
cheese.
Don't forget
There's
about
a lot
cheese.
of animals.
Justin Fields says his injury is separated shoulder
Oh my God, the Seahawks are on the
with
team.
partially torn ligaments, basically an AC joint injury.
Is that bad?
So he's going to need surgery after the end of the season.
But he's going to keep playing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fine.
Why?
Yeah.
The Bears are not winning. That
Um,
doesn't seem logical to me.
I don't know.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
There's not
I
a
guess we'll find out.
logic in Chicago when it comes to their football team, is what I've noticed.
Yeah. No.
A lot
you're
of off
absolutely
seasons are
correct.
just doing absolutely nothing.
All right, well, I'm throwing in my scary selection. Give me the Colts minus 2.5.
I think the Colts should be basically bet on to cover the spread as long as Jeff Saturday is the coach. Yeah. Because every
He's the
week
leader of men.
people are going to be like, this team is literally horrible. Jeff Saturday is their coach. Then they forget that Jeff Saturday is getting the boys riled up every single
Yeah.
weekend to play. I mean, they're ready to go. Oh, wow. What happened?
There seems to be some sort of technical error, but I don't know that it's affected.
It doesn't seem to be affecting anything. Okay.
Oh,
We're safe. There was a small technical difficulty.
Sorry,
on our
fellas.
end. On our
Yeah.
end. On our
And
end.
ladies, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird whenever there's these sort of slates where there's a bunch of games on Thursday, like the rest of the week feels kind of off. Like,
yeah.
but there's still
Well, there are no buys this week, so
Oh,
it's just
wow.
like the Thursday games are essentially buys.
interesting, because I was gonna say there's 4 4 o'clock games.
Yeah, they're every team plays this week.
Those games are all kind of terrible too, actually.
It's because they want to fill the Sunday slate. So basically, the teams that would be on buy,
Uh-huh.
like they do the first game at the first Thursday game and the second Thursday game, and those teams instead of there being a bye, there's just 2 early Thursday games, and then they fill the Sunday slate normally.
And some of the Thursday, I'm going to check if one of the Thursday teams gets a bye after this, because sometimes they do that.
That's an extended super
I
bye.
know. That'd
That
be
is
crazy.
that's the mega bye.
Be absolutely wild.
Can you bet? Is there like a bet on who's gonna get the turkey? Like
Yeah.
there is a
There's
bet on that?
Thanksgiving specials.
Like on who because
Yeah,
don't they
for
like
sure.
give a turkey to like the MVPs at the end of the game?
Yeah, they do
Like, are you
that.
saying to bet on whether they eat it or not?
No, that would be cool. But I'm saying,
Look,
like,
so
who's-
Thanksgiving
yeah.
specials. No, the turkey lines aren't out yet.
I remember one year when Ben Roethlisberger took like a bite and just gave it to the O line.
No, there's no props on that, but there's
Oh,
props
wow.
on who gets the turkey.
Yeah, and there's no bye weeks after this.
No,
There's bye weeks, but it's not the Thursday.
We
night
should tweet some
games.
pics with the turkey.
right. It's just like they're
Yeah.
bye weeks.
There's some pretty fun promos for Thanksgiving here on FanDuel. Any QB on Thanksgiving to throw 4+ TDs plus 150,
Micah Parsons 2 sacks isn't a fucking lock.
but it's full sacks. So
Uh,
No half sacks.
they'll mess you up with the half sacks.
It's like, oh, he had 2 half sacks, but
Any game to go to overtime plus
I
600.
like that.
Saquon to have TDs through the air and the ground. Jamal Williams 3+ touchdowns.
Don't take that.
Both
Dude,
Tony
don't chase the-
Pollard
don't
and
chase
Zeke to score
touchdowns.
2+ TDs.
Don't chase touchdowns.
Both of these happened last week, which is
Yeah,
kind
so
of
don't
crazy.
chase it again.
Should
Yeah.
parlay it.
So, hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.
What are the odds?
That's all we have for you. Kind of an unconventional episode. We brought maybe Saccharuni will be back in the future.
Mhm.
Leaving great analysis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gave some great analysis. Come say goodbye, Saccharuni.
Yeah. Hope everyone has a
Bye,
great
everyone. Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, so
Enjoy some
Enjoy-
football.
Enjoy some
Watch
football.
football.
Enjoy some friends.
Don't
enjoy
talk
some
to your family.
yeah, I hope everyone has some awkward conversations at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Absolutely.
And
Smell
then-
you.